the 2022 NBA All-Star Reserves have been released. And we got a lot to talk about, man. We have a lot to talk about. First off, I'm going to start by saying I was surprised. Yes, I was surprised by the players picked, but I was also surprised by the format. Originally, I thought it was going to be 5 guards and 7 forwards, as it's always been, you know? It's been the main format of the NBA All-Star Game. But this year, we had, in the East, there were 4 guards off the bench, or at least, let me say in total. In total, there were 6 guards and 6 forwards, I think. Yeah, 6 guards and 6 forwards. And in the West, the same. 6 guards, 6 forwards. So maybe this is what the league is doing to change up the format a bit, to make it more easy to pick players because of the way the direction we're going in right now. Positionless basketball, you know. So maybe that's what the league is doing. But hey, I'm all for it because it worked out for the best in the end. Let me start off by talking about the East. Jimmy Butler, the Miami Heat. He's deserving it. He's leading his team to the 2nd place spot in the East right now. They're barely behind the Bulls. And Jimmy's had a great season. He's carried his team to many wins and many losses against my Raptors. But that's not the point. The point is, Jimmy's having an amazing season. He deserves this. He could have had an argument to be a starter, but nobody's beating Embiid, nobody's beating Giannis, and nobody's beating, I forgot who the third guy, KD. Nobody's beating any of those 3. Apparently, Jason Tatum is gonna start ahead of KD, and I think it really should be Butler, but sure. Moving on. We got Darius Garland. Congrats to him. He's a first-time All-Star. And to be honest, I love to see this. I love to see young guys who haven't been All-Stars before get an All-Star appearance. And it really shows how they've improved, how they've done better. Yes, I know, about a week ago, I went off on Andrew Wiggins and why he shouldn't be an All-Star. But he did deserve it to some point, and he did get better over time. You could say the same about Darius Garland. I definitely think that Darius Garland deserves it more than Andrew Wiggins, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about appreciating each player for their accomplishments, and Darius Garland, for him, this is a pretty big accomplishment. He is a 2022 NBA All-Star, and hey, he got it before Colin Sexton. People thought that Colin Sexton was going to be better, but now this year, Darius Garland came out right out the gate. He was playing amazing, and he's leading this Cavs team to a high spot in the East. I think they're 3rd or 4th right now. And hey, I'm all for it, man. You always like to see these young teams do good. Moving on, we got James Harden. Don't really have to say much about him. Yes, he started off the season rough, but at the end of the day, he's James Harden. He has to be an All-Star. It's his 10th All-Star appearance. He's got to do it. He's got to make it. If he doesn't, then he has to be having a terrible season to not make this All-Star game, man. Because he really deserves to be here every single year. No matter how bad his starts are, he's James Harden. He's a top 10 player in the league, at least a top 10 player in the league, and he deserves to be here. Moving on, we got Zach Levine, the 2nd All-Star for the Bulls. I think each first seed got 2 All-Stars, which is fair. And another team got 2 All-Stars that is not very fair. But we'll get to that. First of all, Zach Levine having a great season. He's been in Chicago all this time. He's been trying to carry them to the playoffs, and now that he finally has help DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, Alex Caruso, and Nikola Vucevic, now he can actually make it there. And now his team's looking better. So now he's finally getting the recognition he deserves. Some people were saying he should be a starter. To be honest, I think he's good to be a reserve. I wanted to give the starting spot to Trey, and that's what ended up happening. Then we have a surprise. Chris Middleton. And just to make sure I'm not wrong on this, I'm going to look at his stats real quick. But Chris Middleton really just... That's surprising for me. That is very, very surprising for me. Chris Middleton. Because it really came out of nowhere. He's averaging 19 points. 19.6 points to be specific. 5.6 rebounds. 5.2 assists. So you could say, oh, Chris Middleton actually is pretty good. He deserves to be here. But at the same time, are there other guys I think who should have made it instead of him? Definitely. Bam Adebayo, 18 and 10 and 3 assists. That's debatably better than Chris, but Bam also brings more defense and he's on a better team. And you gave the second seed in the West 3 All-Stars. So you could say, oh, the Heat deserve 2 All-Stars. And I wouldn't complain with you on that. I think the Heat do also deserve 2 All-Stars. And then there's I think that's the main other guy who I was thinking about when I thought, oh, that's kind of weird. There's also Jarrett Allen. And Jarrett Allen could have been here. He's 16 points. 10.7 rebounds, and you could say, oh yeah, that's not really all-star numbers, but I mean, I guess it's like it just doesn't feel like he was supposed to be here. And like, no disrespect to him, but like, I would have rather had LaMelo here. To be completely honest with you, I would have rather had LaMelo here. Because LaMelo averaged almost 20 points a game, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists. And this is his second year, so I definitely think LaMelo deserved it over him. More points, more assists, and more rebounds. And the defense is debatable, but still, I'd say LaMelo, man. There's another guy who I was thinking about who should also be over him. Oh yes, Jalen Brown. Jalen Brown averaging 24 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. Jalen Brown definitely deserves to be here over Chris Middleton. And you can't forget about, there's one more player I had in mind. I mean, it's not as, he doesn't have as good of a case as Brown did. I kind of just spoiled it. Pascal Siakam, averaging 21 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. And when you look at that and you look at Chris Middleton's numbers, you'd really think that Siakam would get it over Chris Middleton, but Chris Middleton made it, and that's really weird. Like, I don't think he deserves to make it. And this isn't me saying that other guys deserve to make it. Like, congrats to him. No disrespect whatsoever. I just don't think, because he's been having a good season, I just don't think it's a better season than what Jalen Brown is doing, than what Siakam is doing, and what Bam is doing. Those three, I think, definitely could have made this spot over him. But, hey, I'm not the guy picking the teams. I don't have control over this. At the end of the day, it's out of our control. The reserves are out of our control. But Chris Middleton, man, 3rd All-Star selection. Congrats, but I don't know. It's not as surprising as the Andrew Wiggins one, but it's still really surprising. I was like, what? Like, really? Like, dang, okay. Sure. Next you got Jason Tatum from the Boston Celtics. Tatum's 2nd or 3rd, and I'm pretty sure it's his 3rd, or it might be his 4th, because he drafted in 2000. I think it might be his 3rd, if I'm correct. But Jason Tatum, yeah. Jason Tatum, he's Jason Tatum, and I expected him to be an all-star. At the beginning of the year, I expected him to have a near MVP type season, but now he didn't. He's still an all-star though. at the end of my All-Star prediction video, I removed him from the list and added Pascal Siakam. And, I mean, would I still do that right now? Maybe, but I would rather remove Chris Middleton, to be honest. But, hey, congrats to Jason Tatum. Maybe I would have rather had Jalen Brown. Maybe I would rather have Pascal Siakam. But at the end of the day, it's out of my control, so I can't really do much about it. Moving on, my favorite selection of this whole day, Fred VanVleet. Fred VanVleet, Freddie All-Star, is a 2022 NBA All-Star. That is amazing. Fred VanVleet made it, man. Fred VanVleet made it. I'm proud of him. Canada's proud of him. We stand behind you 100%, bro. Freddie All-Star it's crazy because these are the two things that had me yelling in the reaction. I was originally gonna stream it, but then I realized it was kind of late because it already started and I wasn't even ready to stream. So yeah, Freddie All-Star, man. Freddie All-Star. He's been having a great season, leading the Raptors to right now they're the 8 or 9 seed. I forgot which place they are in right now, but they are doing good. He's doing good, and the whole team is just. Freddie deserves it. I definitely gotta say, as a Raptors fan, I've seen Freddie play out through this whole season, and Freddie definitely deserves to be an All-Star. At the beginning of the year, he was kind of quiet. It was mainly OG taking, because the thing is with these guys, the Raptors, each one has their streak. Because at the beginning of the year, it looked like OG was going to be the new leader of the team. Actually, no. At the very beginning, it looked like OG and Scotty were going to be the two who led the team and played the best. Then Fred VanVleet started to heat up in December. And then January, it was Siakam who started heating up. And now late January to early February, now Gary Trent Jr. is heating up. So those five are just doing amazing this season, and out of all of them, it had to be either Siakam or Freddie, and it ended up being Freddie. So congrats to him, man. Congrats to Fred VanVleet. Freddie All-Star finally made it, officially taking Kyle Lowry's role, because now he gets his first All-Star appearance, hopefully the first of many, hopefully. And yes, he is 27 years old, so me saying that's kind of weird, but Kyle Lowry was 27 years old when he got his first All-Star appearance. And look how far he went, man. Look how far he went. So hopefully Freddie can be that, he can have that role for us. Hopefully. Moving on now to the Western Conference reserves. These ones weren't as surprising as the East ones, but you know, it was mostly expected. First of all, Devin Booker, best team in the league, their main scorer, first option, and he's Devin Booker. He was in the finals about a year ago. I don't really need to say much about that. Luka Doncic, I expected him to have an MVP type season. He didn't, but he's still playing at an All-Star caliber level, and it's Luka. You can't really get mad at Luka. You always want to have. It's hard to get mad at Luka. The only way you can really get mad at Luka if he's the guy beating your team. But other than that, it's pretty hard to get mad at Luka, man, because Luka's just a likable guy. So I'm glad he made it, and even though he started off the season rough, now he's starting to turn it up, and hopefully his team can do good in the playoffs, even though he is the team. Moving on, Rudy Gobert. This was a bit of a surprising one. Actually, no, it wasn't really. Let me take that back. It was not a surprising one at all. Rudy Gobert definitely deserves to be here. I bet a lot of people would have had other guys over him, but Rudy, I think he definitely deserved it. He is the defensive anchor of that Jazz team, and the Jazz are 4th in the conference right now. And hey, Rudy, he's starting to be more aggressive. He's still doing what Rudy does, get paint points, get rebounds, and get blocks, but he's also adding a bit more scoring to his game. So it's nice to see, and hopefully the Jazz can actually make it past the second round. That would be nice to see. Moving on, Draymond Green of the Golden State Warriors, the Warriors' third All-Star this year. In my opinion, do I think they deserve 3 All-Stars? No. I'm going to just be straight up. No. But Draymond Green does deserve to be an All-Star. Draymond Green definitely deserves to be an All-Star. He was an All-Star when he was with the little big 3 they had with Klay, Draymond, Curry, and then also the big 4 with Klay, Draymond, Curry, and KD. They were all All-Stars in that little period of time, and now Draymond is his 4th time, I think. His 4th All-Star appearance. And, hey, you love to see it. He's not putting up the best numbers, but he is the heart and soul of that Golden State Warriors team. The team that won in a huge winning streak to start the year, and is now 2nd in the West. A stacked West, by the way. So, hey, Draymond deserves it. Draymond deserves it. Congrats to him. Donovan Mitchell, one of my favorite players in the league. I don't know if you guys know this, but Donovan Mitchell is one of my favorite guys in the league. He's also another Jazz player. Rudy and Donovan both deserve to be here, so I'm glad they both made it. And, hey, I don't really know what else I could say. He's having a better season than he usually has. And although he usually is already an All-Star, it's Donovan Mitchell. I don't really know what else to say, man. I don't have much to say about Donovan Mitchell. He's having a good year. Chris Paul, on the other hand. Chris Paul. At first, I expected him not to make it because I knew Donovan was going to make it, I knew Luka was going to make it, and I knew Devin Booker had to make it. But Chris Paul was the one guy I didn't know if he was going to make it. And yes, he is in MVP conversations. I just didn't think that the fans would be voting for him as much. But then again, the assistant coaches do probably love Chris Paul. So, of course, he was going to make it in here. Chris Paul definitely deserved to make it. He's the heart and soul of that Suns team. The team that is the best team in the league right now. They're the only team left with single-digit L's. And Chris Paul deserves to be here, man. If you actually watch Chris Paul play basketball as a point guard, like, it's crazy because he's so good. He's the definition of a perfect point guard. And you'll love to see that, especially with the Suns team. Now they're coming back for revenge after losing last year. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the playoffs, man. Moving on, this is probably my favorite All-Star appearance in the West. My favorite least, of course, is Fred VanVleet. And then my second favorite, maybe Darius Garland. But my third, definitely got to be Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns is a guy I've believed in for the past few years now. I remember he was the first guy I watched get drafted because that was the first draft, the 2015 draft, that I watched in real time, live. And I saw him in his rookie year. I remember seeing him win Rookie of the Year. I remember seeing him make his first All-Star game. People comparing him to Boogie, saying that he was the future of the NBA. And then his team was bad. After Jimmy Butler got traded away, he's been quiet since then. He hasn't made a single All-Star game. And I'm like wondering, yo, what happened to Cat? What's going on with him? Why isn't he making all these All-Star games? Why isn't he doing everything he was aspired to do? And maybe it was all the mental issues he's been going through, because he's gone through a lot. He's had family members die from COVID. He got COVID himself at some point, and his team sucks. The management wasn't doing much to make the team better, but now he's got Anthony Edwards, he's got Patrick Beverley, and that's really it. But it's something. It's an improvement from what it used to be, and at the end of the day, I'll take that. Cat deserves to be here. I'm proud of him. Congrats, my guy. And that is the last All-Star. Now we get to talking about the snubs. There's really, I think, if I had to say, I think I'd say three main snubs that I'm thinking about. Anthony Davis is one of them. And this one, Anthony Davis makes sense. PG-13 makes sense. Both of these guys were injured. They've been out for a bunch of time, and they've been missing games, so people really haven't had the chance to vote for them. So I get that. I guess that makes sense. Even though PG is leading his team and AD is starting to turn up, that makes sense that they aren't here. But respect, props to them, I guess. Hopefully next year y'all can make it. It's still weird that PG didn't make the All-Star game, but the biggest snub for me would have to definitely be LaMelo. LaMelo Ball did not make the All-Star game. And it's not really that he didn't make the All-Star game, it's who made it over him. And that's Chris Middleton. And I guess you could say, oh, well, LaMelo's a guard, and they already put in an extra guard. You can't put in too many guards, because then it's going to be an all-guard game. And I get that, but at the same time, LaMelo deserved to be in this game, man. Definitely more than Chris Middleton. He's beating him in all the stat things, in all the stats sections, being in points, rebounds, and assists. I don't know about blocks and steals, but the Bucks already have an all-star in this game, Giannis, and LaMelo would be the only all-star for the Hornets, and another sophomore year all-star, which would be really nice. And but I guess not. LaMelo definitely deserved to make it, but I guess not. They didn't choose him, and at the end of the day, the assistant coaches, all those guys are the ones in control. But I'm ready for the All-Star draft. I'm ready for the All-Star weekend. I'm ready for All-Star in general. So if you guys are excited, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment down below any tips, tricks, or topics that you have me to talk about on this channel. What ifs, hopefully coming soon, maybe next week, but I don't know, because I don't know if I'm going to get the time to record them. I'll get the time to record them, but I don't know if I'm going to actually record them. But anyways, that'll be for me today. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.